Yo, what's
What's
up,
up?
everybody? Welcome back to JNT. That's how it be. This is episode 7.
I don't know. I lost
That
count.
sounds. I think that's right. Episode 7. Uh,
I could look back, but I'm lazy.
Same. I feel that.
It's
but
laziness, and also I just don't care enough.
right, exactly. But yeah. Today we're talking about our first job experiences. Woo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
can go first.
you want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my first job experience, I was probably it was probably later than I should have. Um, my mother was having trouble wanting to let me drive for a little while. It scared her, as I mean, it's just a mother
As
thing.
it
But
should.
yeah, but anyways, I was a little late to getting my license, like later than I wanted to. I wanted to be like right at 16, like ready to get it. I didn't get it till I was probably 16 and 9 months or whatever. But
Well,
that's the summer. So like before I got my license, I got it um in the summer. So um I got it later in the summer. So I started my job early June. So I couldn't drive yet, which kind of stunk because I had to like wait on my parents to pick me up or take me to work, which was kind of annoying. But anyways, because I didn't want to get a job until I had my license, but I needed to like get a job and start saving money. So I knew a few places that sounded kind of good. I knew I didn't really want to work at like a fast food place. And then the grocery store everybody worked at was Kroger.
yeah.
I didn't want to work at Kroger either because I heard it wasn't great and because you'd have to pay taxes to the union. And it's like, so I'm paying
Oh,
taxes on top of my taxes. And I'm like, I don't want that. That sounds terrible.
welcome to America.
Yeah. But um, after that, there were a few places I had in mind, but my dad is a physical therapist and he'd been working at this nursing home for a while, and he was like, "Hey, uh there's some like kids that are your age that are working in like the kind of dining room for the residents that live in this nursing home, and you could go and be a server there basically." And so I was like, you know,
Hmm.
maybe, I don't know, but ended up applying, got offered the job on the spot. Probably looking back now, it's because they just needed people, I think. But they were like, "Yeah, we want you to work for us." So I was like, "Okay." Um, really chill job. I mean, nothing too crazy. I did a lot of I had track in high school, and I had a lot of like advanced classes, so I had a lot of homework, and so I needed a job that wouldn't like take up too many hours for me. And so this job was pretty nice
Hmm.
because usually the
So how often
shifts
did you walk then?
so the shifts were usually like 5 to 8. Um and so I
Hmm.
worked probably
It's
every
not bad.
about 3 to 4 nights a week. So I wasn't like making bank or anything. It was about,
Yeah.
you know, somewhere around 9 to 12 hours a week, which is fine. I was busy. I was in high school.
Hmm.
Um, it was a good like
Yeah.
entry level job to get me set, kind of on what having a job was even like. It was a little different than how a lot of jobs are, though. I don't know. It just felt um,
What do you mean by that?
so because it was like I'm a server or almost like a waiter in a way, but I never made tips. It was like a normal hourly wage.
Oh,
Because like waiters and waitresses, they make like a lot less hourly wage, but then they get tips.
yeah.
So we didn't make tips because like almost everybody that came in lived there. And so
Oh,
yeah, and so dinner was from like 5 to 7, and then we had like people, or we had to clean up and stuff and do a whole bunch of stuff. But it was usually
huh.
me and like three other people or so that would work on a normal
Oh
night,
boy.
as long as we weren't short staffed, which those were not fun nights. But anyways, it was a
Is
good
like short staffed
experience.
only like two people or something like that?
Yeah, but that would just be for like my side of the dining room, because we had different like sections of the dining room for different areas of the nursing home, like different types of residents.
Um,
Yeah. So my section,
that's better.
yeah, it's not like there were only four people working like the entire place, but there was still it was still kind of like it was annoying because people that were in your section only did work for your section. Um, One of the frustrating things about my job, I remember, was
Hmm.
that a lot of times, like, if it felt like we needed help, there were some people that like would like clearly see we needed help, but because they were not like in a different section, they didn't care. They were, because they also had different clock in clock out times, and so
Wow.
yeah, it was kind
Huh.
of like, okay,
That's that's an interesting setup.
yeah. Now this whole like nursing home, it's kind of also just like a living community, and so the people that were that live there, a lot of them were Christian. It's like a Christian retirement slash nursing home community. It's like kind of big. So, anyways, a lot of like the older folk were so nice, so sweet, absolutely amazing. These people were
Huh.
fantastic. I mean, they just had funny jokes, funny remarks. Sometimes they had awesome stories, just tons of intelligence, and so it was super cool to just like
Hmm.
have good conversations with them. Um, there were a few
That's neat.
that were kind of like very hard pressed, so uptight. Like if you messed up their food, they like were not having it. Um,
Oh no.
it was like
You don't mess up
it
an
was
old person's
usually well,
food.
it was usually one way or the other. It was usually either they like were super like frustrated, or they were like super graceful about it and we're like, no, no, it's okay, like it's all right. But
Huh.
yeah, so it was so weird because it was either fully one way or fully the other. There was never like this really kind of like, there were like a couple that were kind of just like in the middle, but for the most part it was one way or the other. But
Hmm.
uh my boss was super nice, but she didn't always schedule like like we'd always get our schedules at weird times, so she would want to know like all the dates we needed off a full month in advance, and then
Oh geez.
yeah, and then she wouldn't come out with the schedule sometimes until the day before the next month started. So like there were multiple times
Wow.
where I was not sure if I was working the next day until she got the schedule out that night, and it was like, what? And I don't know.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So the scheduling was kind of a big like difficulty for me. I didn't like that. That's part of the reason I like stopped working there. I mean, it's just not a job that you can get a lot of hours at. The pay was all right. Um,
Yeah.
it was, I was getting over 10 an hour, so I
How
wasn't.
long did you work there for?
So I worked there basically the summer before my junior year of high school, and then all through my junior year and through my senior year. up until the summer of my senior year when the whole incident with my knee happened. Which, if you guys don't know about that, go back and listen to whichever episode
Okay.
is titled Veloster Death because you'll learn all about that. But um, yeah, after that, I basically was about to go to college, so that whole summer I pretty much couldn't work anymore. Um, it was so funny because my first day of work there was June 4th, 2000 and gosh, I feel old now.
How do you remember the exact
18.
date?
18. I don't know. I made a mental note that day and just happened to remember. It was June 4th, 2018. My knee incident happened June 5th, 2020. So like almost exactly 2 years to date. It was
Oh,
super
that's
weird.
weird.
It was super weird. Um and then after knee surgery and then I went through my first semester, I came back in between first semester and second semester of last year. So basically winter of 2020, I was there and then came back and then that was it. So after this past semester, um I stopped working there. Uh took me a while, but I finally signed like my termination papers like all right, I'm done, not working anymore
Hmm.
basically. So which was fun.
Yeah,
Um
I'm done. Get me out of here.
yeah. Uh but I also at
Huh.
one point um was also doing DoorDash to make some extra money, but that was not technically my first job. So it was kind of like a side. It was my side hustle.
Yeah.
It's my side hustle.
Side hustle.
Yes. Yeah. So, but
Nice.
it was it was fantastic. Um, as for a high schooler, it was really good. Like as a high school student, I was working in a decent environment, not a great environment, but a decent environment, was making
Yeah.
decent money and was working with something that would align well with my schedule. And so for a high school student, it was great. For a college student, no, just was not working out. So COVID did not help either. When
Yeah.
COVID happened, um, my hours got significantly cut because residents couldn't come to the dining
Yeah,
room.
I'm sure.
And so instead of going to the dining room, we had to deliver their meals to them. Which actually, because like they didn't have to like sit there and eat the food, and we had to like do all that. It was actually way quicker of a process to
Hmm.
do everything. And so, I mean,
Oh,
literally, our shifts went from 3 hours to an hour and a half. And I was working, that's when
huh.
I really picked up on DoorDash because my hours were like awful. I mean,
Yeah,
it was 5 hours a week,
nothing.
if that. So I was not having
Wow.
that. Yeah,
That sounds like the job I had in school.
yeah, hmm yeah,
Well, I was gone for like an hour and a half, and then
exactly.
that
And
was
then you're
it.
just right back, right?
Yeah, there's like
Yeah,
no point at
exactly.
that point.
Right.
Yeah.
hmm
So with my experience, I didn't get my first actual job till junior year, and I did do like yard work stuff and stuff like that, which I don't technically count because I don't know why I just don't. Um, but like actually going into town or something like that and doing that every day and stuff like that, and getting like a constant paycheck. Um, I worked at Spirit Halloween. Um, it was a seasonal store that sold costumes and stuff like that for Halloween. But the problem was it was seasonal, and I was only there for a month,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Oh boy.
So
This is Halloween.
yeah,
This is
and
Halloween.
yeah, and it was actually in a store that was previously Toys R Us.
Huh. It doesn't
Yeah,
surprise me, to be honest.
and yeah, I mean, by that point, it was shut down for a year or something like that, or like the season before or something like that. So it was open. So I applied for that online, and then like the next day, I hear from them saying, "Hey, we want a interview with you and stuff like that."
Hmm.
So I had to print out a bunch of stuff, do some paperwork before,
Yeah.
and I went in. And when I went in, their setup was interesting
Hmm.
because in like an actual store that's actually up for a while, there's actual walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's like these, they have these walls that you just like take down whenever you want.
Huh.
Um, yeah, and they had like a curtain where the staff could go and put their stuff and all that stuff.
Oh boy.
And that's where the boss took me to do the interview and stuff. And it went fine and everything. She pretty much hired me on the spot. I'm pretty sure because they were super low staffed
Yeah.
at that point, and they just wanted to get what they could done. Um, but I came in the next day not knowing anything, and the boss pretty much told me, "Walk around, you'll figure out where our stuff is."
Oh my.
um,
You'll
yeah,
figure it out.
and it wasn't a big store.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't a big store. It was really easy to figure out. But like individual like costumes people want to find, I just like I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
Right. Yeah.
um, and when it comes to like restocking things, they just have this shopping cart full of stuff that it looks like someone just picked up off a shelf and just threw in there.
It looks kind of trashy.
Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
normally when you're in like a grocery store or something like that, it's pull like aisle or pull a couple aisles or something like that.
Yeah.
It could have been anything from around the store.
Oh my.
And yeah, it, yeah, not all organized at all. But I walked from like 5 to 9 or something like that. I kind of forget, but I worked till kind of late. So I would have to clean up, kind of. My boss didn't really care about clean up all that much, but she pretty much had one person do that, one person that was doing cashier do that, and then the people that were just walking around, which was I would do, pretty much just walk around, and if you see something, pick it up and throw it out. Um, but there was 1 week where we were handing out candy balls, like these Oreo candy balls or something like that, to everyone that walked in. And by the end of the night, I had like an entire handful still, so I just took them home. And by the end of that week, my entire desk was kind of filled with them.
Oh my
Like,
gosh. What?
yeah, I mean,
Like
they didn't want them back. They would just
like
like hand them
how
out,
filled
and
are we talking? Because when you say filled,
like if I lined them all up, I could cover up most of my desk. Which
jeez.
my desk wasn't that big, so
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at my
yeah,
desk here, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, it's not that big of a
yeah,
desk. It's
yeah.
not that big of a desk.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
maybe half the size of your desk,
Okay.
maybe,
That's still a
maybe a
lot,
little
though.
bit
That's still
smaller.
a lot of cookie.
Uh,
Was it like the white cookies and cream ones, or?
yes,
Yeah, I know what
yeah,
you're talking about. Those are
they
good,
were
bro.
good.
Those are so good.
um, yeah, but yeah, but it was weird just going up to people saying, "You want a candy bar?"
That
And
is weird. I would say, here, have a candy bar, not, hey, you want a candy bar?
you You want candy bar that's in my pocket?
That's really weird. You didn't ask any
Yes,
children
it
if they
is.
wanted candy, did you? Were you asking children if they wanted
No,
candy? That's so weird.
not in that way. You kids are what is what was in the store mostly.
That's true.
Um, like the
That's
kids would like would like wander off with their parents just doing
right.
something else.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there was this one like section of the store that was like medieval stuff along with like cop stuff,
Huh.
and it was weird. Um, you could kind of mistake the store for something else if you were in the cop section.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they, yeah, but that was the only place in the store that kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there was like all they would play was like Halloween music, but one day I walked in and they were playing Thriller, and every time I hear that song, I felt like it was a eternity by the end of it
It's like a 13-minute
because
song.
it seems like it was playing all the time.
It's yeah.
Yes.
It's a really
And
long song.
at a shift where you literally just walk around, like my shift was literally walking around,
Oh.
and
Mm.
that's what I got paid for. I literally got asked like two things when I was walking there,
Oh wow.
and that was it.
That sounds awful.
Yeah,
It'd be
we
so
didn't get a
bored.
lot of people in. Yeah, and then yes, and then there was one day where I was doing the dressing room area, where literally all you do is sit there, and you have people go in to try out the costume and stuff. And if they don't want it or if it doesn't fit, they hand it to me. And I repackage it as best I can and put it on this rack for people to grab and put back.
Yeah.
There was one day where a ton of people came at once,
Oh no.
and they didn't want any of them apparently. So I had like 10 of them just on my lap trying to figure out how to shove them in this tiny bag
Yeah.
to get them
That's really
back
annoying.
out to be sold.
Yeah. As somebody
Yeah.
who has worked
And
with
like
fitting rooms, like
at the
that,
point where we were like,
sorry.
yes,
It's just yeah, it's really annoying. Like that when
yeah,
they walk out and they like tried all this stuff on and they don't want any of it. It's very frustrating because you have to like refold it
yes,
or rehang it or and then put it back where it goes in the store. It's a frustrating thing.
yeah. And sometimes you can't get it to fit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Uh, it was terrible. But that job was probably the most boring job ever because you really just sat there.
I believe
And
it.
there was one shift I really didn't care, so I was on my phone for a little bit, and no one cared. Um, how the store communicates with their staff and stuff is like a walkie-talkie. So I just sat it right on the desk to the side of me.
Okay.
There was like a bucket or something that was set up that I just sat on,
Hmm.
with the walkie-talkie right beside me so I could hear it, just like on my phone or something like that,
Yeah.
waiting for something to happen.
Right. As one does.
It was such a boring job.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was such a boring job.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much I walked though. I don't think it was a whole lot though.
Right.
But that was my junior year, which was my first job.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a bad job. It was just
Did you only
very
work that?
boring.
Did
Not
you
a
only
whole lot
work that
happened.
one?
I mean, it was a seasonal.
Yeah. Did you only work that one
Yeah.
season? Okay.
Yes. I don't know if they reopened uh my senior year or not. I don't remember. I don't even. Yeah, I don't think they were. At least not in that location again.
Yeah,
I
Halloween
wonder if it was
stores
like
are
across town or something.
they're kind of hit or miss. They like pop up and then they just
Yeah.
disappear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was around somewhere if I
Yeah.
looked enough, but I don't remember if I had a job or I just didn't care enough or
Right.
what.
Or both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't remember. Maybe I worked at. No, I really don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I might have had something.
Gotcha.
I just didn't want to go back to it. Yeah, that was my first job.
Lit, bro.
It wasn't terrible, but
Right.
it was a job.
Yes. And a job is a job.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
not much to it.
Yep.
Yes, a job is a job.
There's a difference. There's a difference between a job and a career. Job is just something you do, really. Well, not always to make money, but
Yeah.
it's something to hold you over until you figure out what you want to do and you have all the skills necessary to do what you want to do. And if you figure out what you want to do and gather all the necessary
Yes, but there are
skills and stuff,
sometimes. Yeah, but there are sometimes where you have to quit because it's just a very
yeah,
terrible job,
yes, absolutely,
which I will talk about in the next video.
yeah. But I was just saying that like a career is like when you figure out what you want to do and then you go and you do that for
Yes.
the rest of your life. Well, a job, like, you're kind of aware this is not what
Yes,
I want
for
to
the
do
rest
for the
of the
rest of my life.
existence.
Yeah. So
Yeah, pretty much. Um, I don't think a lot of people understand that because it seems like some people have a job for like a week or two and then they quit it.
yeah, right.
And then they go on to something else, which it turns into the exact same thing. They have it for like a month tops and then they go somewhere else.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, okay, some yeah, some people
Yep.
are just,
Like,
yeah. What were you gonna say?
yep. It's really weird. It's just like some people say, okay, I've had enough of this. It's been 2 weeks. I don't
Right.
like it. I don't like
Yeah.
the people. I don't like the customers or whatever. So they
Right.
quit and then they can't find anything. So they end up going with the only thing they can find,
Right.
which turns out to be the exact same thing. And they
Yeah.
quit. And then it's just an endless
It's
cycle.
yeah. It's yeah. It's like you're never gonna find like the very like most perfect job. What at
Yeah.
while you're before you get your figure out your career and stuff. But like as far as jobs go, like you're never gonna find the most perfect job. It's there's always gonna be things that are going to annoy you or bother you, um, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think people
Yeah. And that
just
doesn't just go with the job, that happens with the career as well.
it does. Yeah, I'm saying a lot of people really enjoy their careers and don't have very many issues, but jobs tend to just you don't enjoy them as much because you know they're there for not what you want to do for
Yeah.
the rest of your life. So
Exactly.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's like boop, 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 something on the screen.
Hey,
But yeah, that was
you've been distracted by something on your screen.
Yeah, there was like a little smudge on the screen that I don't remember being there. Anyways,
Oh boy.
that's our talk for today about our first jobs. Kind of a short one for y'all today, but uh,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But it was good, and we're
Yep.
producing
The next one will be
decent content.
the next
We
one will
hope.
be interesting.
Yes, yes. We trust us. The next one will
Decent
definitely be
content.
better.
It's okay content.
Okay, hey, this is fantastic content. I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all should like, comment, and subscribe because we make fantastic content. Sponsor us, YouTube. Just kidding.
Twice a week.
Twice a week. Yes, twice a week. I'm sorry.
YouTube is sponsor.
Yeah, they should. They totally should, man. We put these videos on YouTube. They should. Like, it makes sense, right? Ad revenue. Y'all keep watching our
Oh boy.
podcast so
I
we
don't
get some ad
think you get
revenue.
how this works.
All
Oh
right.
boy.
We'll see y'all in the next episode. Have a great day. Deuces.
Peace.